Hey guys, good afternoon. Welcome to an episode of 10-Minute Kick-Ass Coaching right here from my home studio. Today we're going to talk about organization. And do you actually need to be organized? Do you need to be organized in your daily life? Do you need to be organized or seen as being organized? Does it really make a difference from that standpoint in your business life? And there's varied answers to it. So we're going to go through a couple different scenarios and questions today and figure out what probably the best answer is for you. Now, do you need to be organized? Yes. 100% of the time, you have to know where things are. You can have your own filing system. Filing system can be, I know something's over on that shelf over there, or up on this shelf up here, or it's in the other room, or it's back in my car, and on my dashboard to the far right. In the very corner with a little bit of a bend in the paper, that's where you'll find that file. As long as you know where it is, as long as you're able to get to it, it doesn't make a difference. It's very difficult when you're not organized. I'll give you an example for service-based businesses or people that have technicians and trucks on the road. A big variation of being organized is when you go out into a truck and your truck doesn't have what you need, or tools, supplies. If you're in the restoration industry, your drying equipment, if you're a plumber, the supplies, your pipe, your different fittings, whatever the case is. If you don't have those things with you, it can be a very, very bad day very quickly. So I would say, being organized and having what's on the truck and knowing what's on the truck and making sure you've restocked the truck so everything's on there is crucial. So there, an organizational setting is good. If you're running an office and your paperwork is all over the place, as long as you know where it is, it's fine. Now, I will tell you to have a better filing system, know where things are. Like, for instance, in the back of the books here, you'll see a bunch of different stuff. They're not just put there because they look good in that spot, because there's no real rhyme or reason for it. They're put there because they go together. So one program I have might go with another program. One program may be particularly focused on time management. Another program might be focused on peak performance. Another program might be based on direct response marketing. Another program might be based on standing out. Another program might be even on leadership. But they're all together. So no matter where I go on that shelf, everything in that particular subject is together. That way I know I go to the shelf, that's the shelf for peak performance, and that's the shelf for your time management, whatever the case it may be. Everything's got its place. There's a place for everything. I once had a advisor gentleman named Cliff Cole, and if you're a member of the Morphlets program, you'll know it. And Cliff and Greg are really great guys. They run an awesome program with Morphlets for mentoring, coaching, and helping people transition from one industry into the restoration industry and then really capture more of the market. So hats off to great guys. I was part of the program myself. And they were very big on a place for everything, and everything has its place. So if you took out a dehumidifier, it had a spot on the floor, and it was marked dehumidifier number blank, blank, blank. That dehumidifier would go back to that spot. Same thing with the air movers on the shelving. Every air mover went back on the shelf. There was a place for everything, and everything had its place. And the place was extremely organized. And in the business that we're in with disaster restoration, you need to know where you can find your stuff now. You can't wait till you get out to a job site and go, oh, I don't have what I need to have. This sucks. You don't want to get to the point of this sucks. You want to make sure you know where everything is. So he was very, very organized. When I had my facility in Pennsylvania, it was 12,000 square feet, and you knew where everything was in that facility. You knew if I needed to do repairs, everything was in the repair part or the cleanup part of it. We knew if everything was kind of sitting there waiting to go out on a truck for the day, it was in another part of the bay. We knew the other part of the bay where our equipment was stored and everything, again, was in its place. We knew where it was. We knew we had a closed-off room where there was supplies. Could have been from a construction standpoint, could have been from just our regular chemicals and products we'd use out in the field. We knew where everything was. So it was crucial. Organization was the key to that. When you have your office and you know where things are, my office is relatively small and half of my office is taken up by a studio, so I don't have a lot of extra room here. So I got to make sure whatever I need stays in its particular area. The files stay in the files. We know where everything is. If I close out a file, I'm working with a client, and stuff is in their file, their private file, it goes in my locked file cabinet, so even nobody here can get access to it. I can't get access to it unless I want to go back into that file and pull up their name. It's in a locked file at all times for that reason, because it's confidential and it's based on information. Same thing when you're dealing with your employees. Make sure that things are organized and that you have employee files, and the employee files are locked up. so nobody can gain access to that information that really you and your technician or your employee or associate is privy to. So organization is huge. I can't say it's not one of the most important parts. Now, can you have a business effectively and not be what's traditionally known as organized? That is a yes. I heard a story from Dan Kennedy one time where he talked about some of his clients would have a fake office to bring the clients to because it looked real professional, but they never got any work done in the fake office. They went to the real office. The real office looked like a bomb went off in a garage, but it wasn't the real office where work got done because at the pace they were working at, they didn't have time for things to be in a perfect place every single time. That being said, when it comes to having that done, their workshop, we'll call it, was not their workplace. So their office that they brought clients to make things look uniform, make things look really, really good, and know where everything is and look very professional was not the office they actually did the work in. So it apparently at one point in time was very, very common for people to have a workplace and a workshop. And the workshop is where the work got done, and the workplace is where people came to see them and get things done. So that's probably more or less the way my place looks. I know my fiance would definitely agree with that. That I look more like a workshop than a workplace, but I actually get work done in here. I know where everything is, and I have my organization system that's considerably better than others. But I've also been in an office where an attorney has things all over across the floor. Not pertinent information that somebody can't get to. I'm just talking general files, general things that he would need to have. And for that being said, he would need to, or she would need to, know where everything is. That's not sensitive information. So, long story short, organization, no matter what it is, no matter whether it's right or wrong, no matter what you consider organized and not organized, you still need to have an organizational systems in place. You need to keep things delegated. If you have people that are working with you, office staff, whatever the case is, technicians, you need to know where things are being put back into. If a person says, no, I don't feel like putting that particular piece back, 2 days later you're going to go looking for it, you're going to go, what the hell, I don't know where this thing is. So you need to make sure things go back into the place where they're at, that if you use a tool, it goes back in the right place. If you use a file, it goes back in the right file cabinet. It doesn't go in the wrong file cabinet. So you do need to be organized to a certain extent because you're never going to find what you have, and your production is going to go down the proverbial toilet, so to speak. So there's many, many benefits. There's many, many reasons to be highly organized in your business and find a highly efficient way to do it. So we'll recap this in a nutshell. You need to be organized when it comes to your technicians, your trucks, and your equipment, and what goes out of the field, making sure that you have everything you need every single time, that every truck has what it needs to do it. If one truck is missing one piece of vital equipment, it can really ruin a day. Then you have to have somebody else run it out to them, or if you don't have any extras, you're really in trouble. We know that if you have an office and you work out of one office, but you actually have a workshop, which is where the real work gets done, then you have to make sure that workshop even have organization on it so you can bring it to the fake office where people think you're working out of it looks all organized. Making sure that everybody in the facility knows where things are. If a piece of anything goes anywhere, we know where it is. We know it's trackable, accountable. If equipment goes out into the field, we know what job site it went out to. If we're using supplies, roofing supplies that's going to a job, you need shingles, you need any type of anything to do with the business itself. There's a million variations to it that you will need to do your job with your roofer, contractor, plumber, HVAC person, restoration contractor, carpet cleaner. Any service-based business is going to need to know where things are. That's like being a drain cleaner, not having the jetter or a piece of equipment to actually clean out the line, something to make sure the line is clean. If you don't have that, you really can't do your job now. So being organized in whatever you do is crucial. So that was our discussion for today. Please feel free to add your thoughts, what you think. What is an example of organization to you? Do you feel that you need to be organized in the traditional sense, that you need to know where everything is? And at the end of the day, we all can agree you have to have some organization to it. You have to know where something is. But whatever your definition of that organization is that works for you, works for you. Just make sure if you're in a workplace, everybody's on the same pace, everybody knows where things are, and you can maintain your organization to your organization, so to speak. So, all right, guys, I appreciate you being here today. Thanks so much. Again, feel free to comment. We are at episode number 46. We talked about organization of your business and what needs to be organized and how we detail that down. All right, have a great weekend. I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Talk to you next week. We're rocking on close to episode number 50 here on 10-Minute Kick-Ass Coaching, the Service Without Excuses page. Also, keep in mind, I am robmlyon on Instagram as well. I have robmlyon at Google+. I have robmlyon on Pinterest. And also, you could find me at robmlyon on LinkedIn or Robert Lyon on LinkedIn as well. So I appreciate it. Feel free to post, feel free to comment, and any ideas you have, I welcome them. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.